Welcome to our Mock Interview Pro series. Today, we're diving into the role of a human rights officer. Whether you're gearing up for an interview or just curious about what it takes to excel in this impactful field, we're here to help you shine. Let's kick things off with our first question about teamwork in addressing human rights issues. Could you share an experience where you collaborated with a team to tackle a human rights issue? This question is designed to understand your ability to work effectively with others in tackling complex human rights challenges. Here are some helpful tips on how to structure your response. Pick a specific project or initiative you were part of. Clearly define your role and contributions within the team. Discuss the human rights issue and why it was important. Share the outcomes and what you learned from the experience. Keep your story concise, yet impactful, focusing on teamwork and results. Now, let's look at an example answer to see how you might put these tips into practice.
In a previous position, I collaborated with a team to launch a community awareness campaign focused on refugee rights. I was responsible for coordinating meetings, gathering necessary resources, and helping to develop educational materials. Our efforts reached over 500 individuals and led to a local policy change that supported refugee integration.
By the way, we're only covering a handful of questions in this video, but I've prepared a free PDF with all 30 top interview questions for Human Rights Officer. It also includes example answers and tips to help you prepare with confidence. The download link is just below. Describe a situation where you had to mediate a conflict between two parties over a human rights concern. This question aims to evaluate your conflict resolution skills and your ability to navigate delicate situations related to human rights. To effectively answer this question, consider these pointers. Identify the two conflicting parties and their specific concerns. Demonstrate active listening to fully understand each party's perspective. Facilitate a discussion where both sides can openly express their views. Propose solutions that honor human rights and meet the needs of both parties. Follow up to ensure the resolution is maintained and monitor the ongoing situation. Here's an example answer to illustrate these steps in action.
In my role at an NGO, I faced a conflict between a community group and the local government over land use. I organized a meeting to allow both parties to present their views. By actively listening, I found common ground and suggested a compromise that safeguarded cultural sites while permitting development. We reached an agreement, and I followed up to ensure that the terms were respected.
Can you give an example of a time when you led an initiative to raise human rights awareness? This question assesses your leadership skills and ability to drive initiatives that promote human rights awareness. To craft a strong answer, keep these tips in mind. Identify a specific initiative you led along with its goals. Describe the steps you took to promote awareness. Explain the impact your initiative had on the community or organization. Highlight any collaboration with others or groups. Include measurable outcomes like attendance or engagement rates if possible. Here's an example of how you might answer this question.
I organized a series of workshops at my university to increase awareness about refugee rights. By partnering with local NGOs, I arranged for speakers to engage with over 100 students. The workshops received positive feedback, with many attendees reporting a heightened awareness and understanding of the issues.
What steps would you take if you were informed about human rights abuses occurring in a remote community? This question explores your problem-solving skills and ability to respond to human rights emergencies, especially in challenging environments. Here are some steps to guide your response. Collect detailed information from credible sources, including witnesses or victims. Assess the safety of affected individuals and yourself. Report your findings to the relevant authorities or organizations. Coordinate with local NGOs to offer support to the community. Advocate for awareness through media or public platforms. Let's take a look at a sample response.
I would first gather information from reliable sources, such as witnesses or victims, ensuring that the data is accurate. Next, I would assess the safety of everyone involved, including myself. Once the situation is verified, I would report the abuses to the appropriate authorities and collaborate with local NGOs to provide necessary aid to the community.
Imagine a scenario where you have limited resources to support multiple human rights issues. How would you decide what to prioritize? This question assesses your decision-making process and ability to prioritize effectively under resource constraints. Here are some strategies to help structure your answer. Identify the most urgent human rights issues based on their impact. Evaluate the resources needed for each issue and potential outcomes. Engage stakeholders to understand their perspectives and needs. Seek collaborative opportunities to enhance resource effectiveness. Focus on issues with the potential for sustainable solutions. Here's how you might frame your response using these guidelines.
I would prioritize urgent issues like human trafficking due to its severe impact on individuals. By assessing resource needs and collaborating with local NGOs, I'd ensure that we're addressing these issues with maximum effectiveness and impact.
Before we wrap up, remember you can get all 30 questions, example answers, and step-by-step tips in a handy PDF. Totally free. Just grab it below.